Hoocha. I don't know if you guys seen the story about the Nigerian man who sat his wife down and basically said that, I can't continue with this relationship anymore. I'm not happy. And he, made sure to say how he brought her from the UK 8 years ago. And now they have 5 kids. So do the math. That means those kids are very much so little, okay? 5 little kids under the age of 8 years old. And he sat her down and said that he's going to leave the family, but he's going to try his best to support her financially. So she said, okay. She was in tripping. Sis said, I'm not tripping. I'm not arguing with you. Fine. If that's what you want, go ahead and do that, right? Leave me with 5 kids. Fast forward to a week later, she took all of their passports, all of the kids' passports, and booked a flight back to Nigeria. Left that man in the house with them kids and made sure to take the passports so that he wouldn't bring them to Nigeria with her. So he's been calling her family nonstop, like, she left me with the kids, da da da. And the family don't care. Like they don't want to hear it. They don't care. So he said the only person that even continued to answer his calls was his wife's mother. And now he's coming to the internet because he feels like she never loved him and she never loved the family, because how can she just get up and leave 5 kids behind for him to take care of? And his mental health is declining. He doesn't have time for himself. It's like the kids purposely want to hurt him. They're throwing tantrums. He don't have time to go play ball anymore. His sister has to come and help him because he just can't take it. And I'm just like, look at God. You were about to leave that woman with 5 kids to take care of. And she pulled a you on you faster than you could. And now you come into the internet to say that this woman never cared about her kids and only cares about herself and she's selfish. When in reality, you were the one that was about to break up the family. You see, these men can never handle what it is that they're doing to us. And when we pull a them on them, now it was...
Hey, yo, welcome back to another episode. And as always, I am your host here, the Empress H Speaks. Grab a snack, get comfy, we're diving in. Today's episode is on women's agency and its consequences or side effects to present society. This topic is nuanced and layered because both men and women are still acclimatizing to the fact that women actually have agency, even if it's fairly new. And we can see it sometimes with the way that female friends, co-workers, female relatives feel entitled to women's time, energy, labor. A popular evidence of women's entitlement to other women and disregarding women's agency is with the older daughter, first daughter parentification that occurs in the family. This is a very widespread, well-known, concept that we've all come in contact with in some way, shape, or form. Then you are not just supposed to service men, but you're also supposed to act as a backup and aid other women, as well as forgoing your self-preservation to help them keep the show running and to help them keep serving men even when they are running on fumes. You're supposed to be the backup, and also run yourself ragged and dry to make sure that the show keeps going on. Anyways, then with men's adverse reaction to female agency, this can be witnessed in the quote-unquote male loneliness epidemic, which is really male entitlement epidemic because women also feel lonely, but we are not out here feeling entitled to people stopping their lives to cater to us and all that.
But men kind of built society to court other men in order to enter relationships with women. Let me cook. And what if the reason why the alpha male podcast bro alt-right pipeline is so strong is because men are subconsciously crashing out that they are being denied relationships with women by women? That's why I don't think it's a male loneliness epidemic. I think it's a male entitlement epidemic. Because all throughout patriarchy, men have been the ones deciding who women married. Women have been bargaining tools, business mergers, family mergers, negotiation tactics, but all in all, pawns that men traded between one another. This is truly the first time in the history of patriarchal society that women are allowed to decide what relationships they enter. Men used to have to court and woo other men for the affection of a woman. Fathers paid husbands to get daughters off of their hands, to transfer property ownership to the husband. Long story short, men are used to being accepted or denied by other men regarding relationships with women. It is genuinely a novel concept for a woman to be able to tell a man no, and for that no to have any level of weight. There is a reason why telling a man I'm not interested at the bar is less successful than I have a boyfriend. And that is also to say that violence against women was seen as a slight against her man. And so the defense of women was much more pertinent because it was a defense of one's own manly honor. Men perceiving women as someone's daughter, someone's sister, someone's mom. But patriarchy made men entitled to women. And not in the obvious way, in the it is not women who can deny me relationships with women kind of way. Because women were property, currency, for exchanges between men, and now they aren't. Oh, so you just don't think people could be in love until women had human rights? Well, I think the feeling of love has always been real and important and necessary and constant. But I also think it's pretty hard to differentiate feelings of love when your capacity to survive society is in relationship to the love that you have to feel for your partner. Governing bodies recognize property. It is fairly recently that governing bodies started recognizing and implementing human rights, civil rights. And again, these women were property. So it's like a patriarchy is like a millennia's long Stockholm syndrome. In the past 60 years, post-World War II, has been like the women have been let out of the dungeon. I definitely took the long way home on this one. But my point is, men today are grappling with having to actually be in relationships with women in order to be in relationships with women. And rather than adapt with women's relatively newfound footing, we're getting crash outs. We're getting the manosphere alt-right pipeline. We're getting mass influxes of incel culture. We're getting attacks on women's reproductive freedoms, attacks on women's civic freedoms. If you haven't looked into the SAVE Act and what it does for women who have changed their name when they get married and it doesn't match their birth certificate, or the repealing affirmative action, white women were the #1 benefactors of affirmative action. It's like patriarchy's extinction burst, almost. And all because women are allowed to say no.
Have you ever walked in on your daughter?
Walked in on my daughter? No.
Your mom hasn't walked in on you?
I don't think so.
Have you walked in on your mom?
No.
What does this have to do with anything?
It doesn't.
Okay, so what is the purpose of this question?
To get your answer?
Inappropriate.
What's your name?
It's okay.
It's Karen.
Have you guys seen that viral video of the wedding vow renewal party? The one where everyone's got their cameras out and the wife is asking her husband not to smash the cake in her face. She reminds him that they talked about it already. She does not want cake in her face. He is still motioning and he's like, no, I'm not going to do it. But then he does it and she gets upset. He thinks she's overreacting. She's like, everybody's here with their cameras out filming and you're doing the one thing I asked you not to do. And he's like, well, you know, I did it during our wedding. And she was like, I was mad then too. My favorite part is when the best friend in the pink dress steps up and then smashes the cake in the husband's face and is like, did you like it when I did it to you? That's when he's like, wow, you're taking it way too far. Who even invited you anyway? And she's like, I'm her best friend. Of course I'm here. But now you know how it feels. The wife steps in, hands back the ring to the loser husband. He drops it on the ground. The best friend picks it up and goes, don't touch it. I'm going to sell it. And then they both storm out together. That shows he doesn't respect her boundaries. He doesn't care at all. He just does what he wants. And I'm sure their entire relationship was like that. The entire relationship. Men who go out of their way to disrespect you on your special day do not respect you at all. In 2024, can we stop ignoring major red flags, please? Please.
Can I have a hug?
No. It's on your Tinder account on the way over here.
I have a Tinder.
Yes, you do.
What are you talking about? We've been dating for 2 months. I have a Tinder account.
Well, it shows you were active yesterday.
I just drove 4 hours to meet you.
That's not my problem.
4 hours
That's not my problem. Don't interrupt me. Now get.
No, let me come in. We can talk
No,
about it.
get out.
Let me come in. We can talk about
No.
it. I just drove 4 hours and you're kicking me out?
Yeah. Get out. Bye. Don't come back. You suck. Now get out of my house.
Come on, have a baby. Come on. You want a rice cake? It's all yours. Start popping them out. Let's change your mind. And it's gonna both of them. What about her? She's singing your song? Open your cool to me, baby. How me the lock and you me the key. Open your cool to me. I guess you hate your country.
I said, I guess you hate. What do you want? Go ahead and tell Uncle Sam what he needs to give you to make him Daddy Sam. Universal? No. No. Where did you even hear that? Every other country? Well. All right. You drive a hard bargain. I respect that. I like that. I'm not supposed to do this. Oh, here it is. I know you like the sound of that. 9 kids or more. Novelty bug. From that song you guys like.
I have to emphasize something. Women having agency as well as exercising that agency is very necessary. It's like having a personal driver as well as a vehicle to get you out of situations, places, or people that rub you the wrong way and that you're not comfortable with. Society needs you to not exercise your agency. Society needs you to go with whatever plan it has for you, no matter how detrimental that plan is to your life and your well-being. Therefore, women having agency is extremely inconvenient for society in general. It's very inconvenient to men for getting their needs met. It's also very inconvenient for other women that fell for the con and are now miserable or stuck and having their life, their energy, their vitality drained, and they also want you miserable with them too. Alright, so watch out for them. It's not only men that are out here harassing, assaulting, and disparaging women's agency. There are also other women out here disparaging other women's agency in big and small ways. In general, I just want to add this. Ladies, charity begins at home. We're talking about how men should honor and respect women's choices and women's no's and women's boundaries and all that. But also, ladies, we also need to work on respecting each other's boundaries as well and learning to honor our sisters' boundaries. Because let's be honest, we also have that problem of heeding warning signs and boundaries and honoring them. With that being said, y'all, as always, I am your host, the Empress H Speaks. Don't forget to like the video, share if you wish to, subscribe if you want more of this. Don't forget to turn on your post notification bell when you do subscribe. See y'all in my next video, and yeah.